right now the Knicks are in a kind of weird predicament to where they want to be more than a first-round exit team next season, but they also have a good young core and future. If you're the Knicks, would you trade picks 19 and 21 along with R.J. Barrett for Damian Lillard?
I think you have to.
My eyes closed.
I think, without a doubt. I think, Dame being who he is, I think he would love New York. I think New York would love him back. And I think pairing him with Julius Randle would be great because Julius Randle's established right now. I think RJ, you're kind of like, as you're waiting for him to develop, you're kind of, wasting Dame's time there. I think Randle being what he is right now, and, you could try to keep quickly, but I think giving up those picks, even giving up a couple more, and RJ Barrett, who's a young, promising star, I think that has to be that would be the one Portland would probably accept because Randle's 26.
And Randle's not Randle's not a number one. And you bring in Dame, who definitely takes over that number one role.
And now he can slide to number 2.
100%.
If I'm being honest, if I'm the Knicks, I'm only trading RJ Barrett if I have a commitment from Kawhi Leonard to come to New York and team up with Randle and Dame, and now the Knicks would have a big three of Kawhi, Dame, and Randle. That's the only way I'm trading RJ to Portland for Dame.
Even without the commitment from Kawhi?
Well, there goes that.
Yeah, even without the commitment from Kawhi,
I'm not doing it because I think there's a limited ceiling to that Knicks roster.
And how old
why
is
do you
Damian?
think
30?
But what makes you so high on an RJ Barrett team ceiling?
Hold up. For one, RJ Barrett was 20 years old, averaging 17 points per game. He has the potential to average 24, 7, and 5 in his prime. Guys like that don't grow on trees.
Dame's prime is he's putting up 28, 7, and 4.
And not getting anywhere with that Portland roster, which is better than the Knicks roster currently is.
Because he's in the West.
And if the Knicks were to trade RJ along with the picks 19 and 21.
So you tell me, excuse my language. If you switch Dame, right? Let's go back to that last postseason. You switch Dame for RJ Barrett right now. You mean to tell me I couldn't beat Atlanta?
We wouldn't beat Philly.
But you would beat who?
Would you have beat Atlanta?
Maybe. Because Trae Young probably would have had the same impact as Dame.
RJ Barrett played horrible against Atlanta.
So did Julius Randle, the second option.
But Dame wasn't going to play horrible.
Exactly. And Dame relieved so much pressure off Julius.
Here's the thing.
He would, at least.
A team with Dame, Randle, Mitchell, and who else is on the team that we can really rely on for the Knicks?
I mean, you'll still have cap, though, correct? If you bring in Dame.
If we bring in Dame, that's a max contract on our cap.
So you'll have one more max.
No, because Randle is getting paid $20 million and might command another contract. That's why if Kawhi were to come to New York, he has to take a pay cut.
But to be fair, though, because you bring in Dame, you bring in an already established star, so which means it'll set you up for the next big star off season to where you can use that pitch. Well, we have Dame here. Come play with Dame instead of having the pitch of we have Randle and RJ.
Yeah.
If Randle gets a contract extension before this upcoming season is going to happen next season, we won't have that other max cap slot.
I'm saying yes, but I'm saying now with Dame, you have an established star where you can use that in your conversation as opposed to using Randle and RJ.
This is the difference. With Randle, if we don't extend him now, he might take that as an insult.
That's fine.
And then next offseason, the star-studded offseason, Randle might say, look, I don't want to come back to New York because I felt disrespected. A team with Dame and another established star, I don't think can get you to the finals. I just don't think it can. For me right now, look, I think the Knicks should try avoiding trading RJ and Randle. If I were the Knicks, I'd tell Portland, look, I'll trade you picks 19, 21, Mitchell Robinson, Quickly, and Obi.
Bro, you guys sound like Miami right now.
But does that get you Damian Lillard? It's like you need something of worth to get you a
Who's the
top
people you
10
just said?
player.
Quickly, Mitch, and Obi.
It's not enough.
It isn't.
It's not enough.
Because even
you guys
look
know,
at the Harden trade.
You know what they sound like? Miami when they were trying to get Harden. They're holding on to Tyler Hero for dear life. That's exactly what you guys sound like.
We have good young players. Mitchell Robinson is a defensive presence.
But he's been hurt how many times?
This is actually the first year he's really been hurt like
his
that.
game is kind of it's going to take some time for him to really develop an offensive game.
One thing I'll say. So you look at the last two superstars that have been traded. You look at Harden. LeVert is better than the players that you just named. Jared Allen, who knows? He's got high
better
ceiling.
than Mitch.
Anthony Davis.
It's close. It's really close. And don't act like it's not close.
But he's better than Mitch. Well, Mitch he barely played last year.
So you look at the Anthony Davis trade. Lonzo went. Brandon Ingram went. So it's like, obviously, I'm taking both those players over.
You want to know what's the difference between that? is that when Anthony Davis was on the trade block, there were multiple teams that were able to trade star players.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Lakers who could trade Brandon Ingram with Lonzo. At the time, we viewed them as potential stars.
Yep.
You had the Celtics who could trade Jaylen Brown. So there was a competition between who had the best package. Right now, you look at the teams that can offer Portland a trade.
Miami and Philly.
The best players in those trades are Ben Simmons and RJ Barrett, right? So
True.
You don't have to offer too much to outbid a team.
Right
At
now,
the same
I agree.
time, though,
That's a good
Ben
point.
Simmons and Tyrese Maxey are a better package than what you named without RJ and Randall. And same with Miami. Tyler Herro's better than those guys you named.
It depends because Ben Simmons this past season, this is the lowest value he's ever going to have probably.
Correct.
Agreed, but
he might
all right.
and currently at this stage in Ben Simmons' career,
Right.
where we've seen he's not been developing, I'm not betting Ben Simmons. I'm not betting on Ben Simmons to be better than RJ Barrett. I'm not. RJ Barrett's going to be better than Ben Simmons. You don't think so?
I can't comment.
You don't think so?
I really,
got a
after
history.
what you're saying Ben's stock is dropped, but we've seen RJ in the playoffs.
And
and
at
it's
20
like,
years old. He's
we're gonna,
20 years
so we're
old.
gonna play
Ben's
the
24.
we're gonna play the
Like-
age card,
He's 20. I'm just saying he's really young. This was his first playoffs.
and he played extremely bad,
Bad.
bad. Like we looked at him as like
And he was bad, no doubt about it, but he's only 20 years old.
well, he's
Listen,
21.
I like RJ for the future, but it's high praise. Listen, I can't talk on Ben because
I don't think it's
clearly I
high
have
praise.
a
I
history.
think Ben is what he is.
I'm saying high praise on RJ.
I mean, I've on previous pods, I've said that I'd take OG and Anunoby over Ben Simmons. You said it too, that you take OG over Ben.
OG's better than RJ though.
No, he's not. RJ's better than OG. Yes, he is. You think OG's better than RJ?
Yo, what do you think RJ is?
So RJ's better than Ben right now?
That's close.
Wait,
But
that's
it's like
close.
you
You
got
Just-
it. Yeah,
wait,
yo,
you just said OG's better than Ben.
no the transitive
but
property.
Ben is
bro.
This is the thing.
Ben and
This is-
RJ
no,
close.
There's a difference. The reason I take OG over Ben is because I think OG fits better on more teams. I know that with OG, I'm getting elite defense and a 40% three-point shooter.
What are you getting with RJ?
I'm getting great defense with RJ, and I'm getting a guy who last season shot the three at 40%.
Okay, 4 attempts.
And in the
Okay.
playoffs, what did
I'll
that
tell you
drop
right
down
now,
to?
they're right here. 28,
Oh my god.
38% from the field, 14 points a game.
And what did OG average in the playoffs? Has he ever been in the playoffs?
Yes,
With Toronto, he
LeBron
was
hit the
hurt.
game runner in his face. You don't remember that?
Yeah, I
The
know,
one
but
footer.
OG's not a great playoff performer either. He's not some crazy guy in the playoffs.
Yeah, but you're making it seem like RJ. It's your RJ love is getting out of hand.
I mean, RJ's in the second year in the league. You're expecting him to be an established star by now. It takes players at least 3 to 4 seasons to be what we think they're going to be.
In the
Okay.
championship year, he averaged 10.5 in the playoffs, 4.5 rebounds. Excuse me,
Shot 41%.
6
from
points.
three.
RJ Barrett can
He
literally
ate.
average 20 plus points per game next season. I'm expecting him to average that.
I agree.
He can jump up to 22 points per game and make his first All-Star team next year, and this conversation is deaded already. Because you guys, you are just a disrespectful person towards RJ. I mean, you thought Cam Reddish was going to be better than him. He's not going to be better than
That was
RJ.
2 years ago.
I mean, yeah, but you never been high on RJ, so it's not uncommon for you to try to
Well,
disrespect
no,
RJ.
you're just a little too. You're just trying to hold to him for dear life when you have Dame on the table.
All I want to say
No,
is,
I'm just. This is the thing.
You're giving
If
up
the
guys
Knicks-
like Quickly, Toppin, and Mitch. What?
yeah, it's just
This is
not
the
a
thing.
For
package.
Dame?
Quickly is really good.
But Toppin?
It's not gonna get Dame.
This is what I'm gonna say. The reason why, if I'm the Knicks, I'm not quick to pull the trigger is because if you plug in Dame to this Knicks roster, they're not a championship contender.
Okay, let me.
And in
okay.
this window right now, they're not a championship contender. Don't even make that face.
I'm just trying to think. You get Dame and Randall together.
Dame and Randall is not beating Kyrie, Harden, and Kyrie.
no.
They're not.
No one
RJ
is.
Barrett
No one
and
is.
Julius Randle didn't
Exactly.
even beat Trae
Yes,
Young.
but we're not
Exactly.
expecting the Knicks to do that because they have one of the
You
youngest
picked-
rosters in
No.
the NBA.
You expected the Knicks to win.
I picked.
No,
the Knicks
I
in
did.
7.
I'm not saying that I didn't, but I'm
You just
saying
said
that
we're not expecting
But I'm just saying that
To win a
we've
championship.
seen what
Oh.
Atlanta has been in that first round. Atlanta was still a mysterious team,
Right.
but now we've seen them beat the Knicks. But what was really impressive is seeing them beat the Sixers. So we've seen, wow, Atlanta is actually really
Like that.
legit.
Mhm.
There were question marks about them coming into the playoffs. We weren't that sure. the Knicks are not a player away or not a star player away from competing for a championship. We're not even sure if Randle can be a true number 2 because we don't know if his game is going to fit next to Dame. Right now, the Knicks are one of the youngest teams in the NBA. Trading for a guy who is not going to get you to a championship in right now a league that window features Giannis with Drew and Middleton, which they're still going to be a fixture next season, which features the Nets and their big 3, which they're going to still be a super team next year. Why try to go all in and win next season when you're not going to have a better roster than these teams at the top of the East? It doesn't make sense. So why trade a guy who's 20 years old in his second season who has been improving, who I expect to make a big jump next year for a guy who's not going to get you past the second round, maybe not the first, depending on the matchup?
Listen, I'm with you there, but then at that point, don't trade for Dame at all, because at that you're not going to get Dame without RJ. So at that point, don't.
If I don't have to give up RJ, I will.
So then, let me ask you a question: what is a Dame RJ Randle trio going to do?
Yeah,
better than a Dame Randle trio. I mean, better than
second round exit.
Better than a Dame Randle duo.
RJ and Randle is a second round exit. The same as a Dame and Randle or Dame. It's a second round, depending on who you play, regardless.
And at least you win around, which is what the Knicks need.
This is the difference. With Dame, RJ, and Randle, I have Dame and Randle Dame is an established star. Randle had a season where he was that. We're not sure if he can continue to do that. Then you have a guy in RJ who I think is going to establish himself as a star within the next 2 seasons. The beauty in that is that next offseason, not this one, but next offseason, you can offload Randle's contract and maybe keep him and then sign another star, or keep Randle and bring another really great player in. Did I not say that? But that doesn't feature RJ Barrett.
But you're banking.
I'm not banking on RJ. I'm banking on what I've seen from RJ, which is a steady improvement.
You've seen a steady improvement and then walk into a playoffs in a complete decline.
So you're gonna knock him for a 5-game sample size versus what he showed this entire season.
Listen, and I'm not trying to say that he should be on Trae Young's level, but Trae Young is 22. This is his first playoff experience.
Trae Young is generational.
So what about DeAndre Hunter?
DeAndre Hunter.
This was both their first playoffs.
Hunter was good, but you also have to realize that.
What do I have to realize?
Hunter is playing with the point guard and Trae Young, who makes the game easier for everybody else. If the Knicks, for example,
Derrick Rose didn't outshine more.
Derrick Rose is a scorer, but I don't think he's that. Like, he's what Trae Young is as a playmaker. No way.
Of course.
For example, if the Knicks had a guy, like if we traded for Chris Paul, we would have been a second-round team. We would have, like, the shots Chris Paul would have gotten for Randle and RJ and the guys we had, we would have been a much better team.
So, wait.
We don't have a point guard right now.
Wait. So, Chris Paul makes you a second-round team, but Dame is a maybe. That's what you said.
Dame without RJ and just Randle? Yes.
No.
CP3 without RJ.
It's just Randle.
Second round team?
No, we're a first round exit.
You have to say that 100%. With the point you're making, that's correct.
We're still the first round exit. I don't think the Knicks, you just plug and play CP with Randle and no RJ, can beat the Hawks.
I don't know, man, because there's been some games where you needed RJ to hit some shots, and you guys could have won the game.
I'm trying to figure out what plugging out RJ and plugging in Chris Paul makes you not beat the Hawks. He didn't do anything against the Hawks.
He was bad.
To make you say that. Like, he didn't do anything.
But the real player that was expected to perform was Randle, because he was the all-star.
Yeah.
And he played worse than RJ. Yes, he did.
With the both of them.
Probably played the same level.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
I mean, at least he was getting in the 20s points per game.
I mean, that's because Randle is going to demand the ball. Mm-hmm. He was the first option. Mm-hmm. He's been that all
true.
season.
Very true.
That's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm just saying, RJ is 20 years old. If I have to part, like I mentioned earlier, if I have to part ways with RJ, I'm only doing it if I get a commitment out of Kawhi and get that big 3 of Kawhi, Dame, and Randle. Other than that, I'm not parting ways with RJ. I'm not parting ways with our young assets for the future. Right now, I still think the Knicks need to keep rebuilding on this young team. The Nets got lucky that the year that they were good and stable, it was a star-studded free agents class, and Durant and Kyrie just so happened to want to go to Brooklyn. They got lucky. The Knicks are not in that position. If you force something, it's going to be the Carmelo Anthony era all over again, and where we're going to have one great year, and then we're just going to fizzle out and go through another rebuilding process when we already have all the pieces here. Our future features Randle, Mitch, quickly, Obi. We have 2 first-round picks in this draft. We can build on that young core. Why ruin it all for Dame, and he's not going to get us over the top because the East is filled with some great teams right now, and we're just not going to compete against that right now.